Hey there, viewers! A Transformers fan or Charlie Young back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on Studio Series Alpha Trion. Now, this is obviously how he appears in Transformers 1, as seen with this unicorn, lion, tiger, whatever the hell this is mode. Yeah, I have no idea what this is. Some weird horned beast. But yeah, this is TF1 Alpha Trion. Of course, looking at the box, the standard Studio Series packaging, well, for 2026 at least. So we got a picture of him in both modes. It says that he's an Autobot, but I'm pretty sure that when the Autobots were established at the end of the film, Trion was, spoilers, dead. Sentinel got to him, but I guess branding and all that, but 26 steps. Got a picture of him in robot mode in here. Alpha Trion. This side we just got more of the picture, including the little cave where he was hiding, where he gave the caster T-Cogs. Got him in both modes. Says we keep this in the film. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. And yeah, looking at the figure, again, I have no idea what this beast mode is, but he did transform into this in the film, so I don't know, maybe it's a callback to Titans Return. I don't know. But looking at it, you can see it's got some really cool moss detailing. Because, it's meant to be, he's old and dilapidated, from hiding out. Got some moss detailing on the shoulder there. That's intentional damage detailing right there, which is pretty cool. Of course, we got the horns. We've got a horn right there. We've got some spike detailing here. See, it's meant to be some sort of, I guess, tiger, unicorn thing. I don't know. The tail, which looks to be made of pure energon. If you want to kind of lift it up, if you want him to cheese someone. So yeah, if you want to spray someone, then there you go. And yeah, not really much else to talk about. So let's look at the head, which, yeah, that's a pretty ferocious looking head. And yeah, the jaw can open. There you go. And if anything, the jaw can actually open really far. That's kind of unnatural, but there you go. And yeah, not really much else to say about the beast mode. I mean, I do like how the beast mode looks, but mainly from the front with all the moss detailing right here. The back is kind of Plus, the back legs are kind of weird looking. So, yeah. But, of course, with this being a beast mode, we've got some articulation. So, the head, well, if you untap this, then it can go side to side. The mouth can open. The front legs can move. You can swivel. The paws can move down. Although this does undo this bit here, so just be careful of that. The back legs can move up and down, so the feet can move. It can move here, and it can move here. So there you go. But yeah, kind of awkward in my opinion. Like, I do like the beast mode, it's just kind of weird. And the accessories, well, they're actually already attached on, so let's A, start the transformation by taking all this off, and B, well, show off the accessories. So, first of all, if this can come off, the tail, which, as the box shows, becomes a club weapon. But then we have something I really hate. We have to take off the little spikes. Which, why? Why do we have to do this? Like, these could, well, I think these are small enough so they won't be a choking hazard, but still. Plus, we also have to take the horn off. These are guaranteed to get lost at some point. Like, these are absolutely going to get lost behind a couch or something. Like, seriously. And it's all for attaching them onto the tail, like so. So the big one goes on like so, and you've got some ports here. And me personally, I don't think it was worth it. Like, yeah, other Alpha Trions have had, like, the spike things come separately in the box. You know, the Age of the Primes one comes to mind, but at least with those ones, it was just, like, you attach them on after you get them out the box, and that was it. Here, you constantly have to take the spikes off for the transformation to attach them onto the tail for the weapon. So, I think that's one thing I really hate about this figure. The parts forming, well, the spike parts forming, which, yeah, that's going to get lost. But, small rant aside, let's move on to the transformation. Which, yeah, typical beast former transformation. Back legs become robot legs, front legs become the arms. Yeah, pretty typical. So, get this guy transformed. Just gonna move these down. Straighten out the legs, like so. Move the feet down. Then we have to take these little purple sections, and these essentially become his shins. So we just have to try and untab these. There we go, these move down. This can actually be pretty tricky to do. Oh, there we go. So there we go. His robot leg's done. Next, we'll take the front legs, and you can see that they tab into here. So just untab. Again, we're just going to untab and move that down. Just rotate that to the side. Open this. Spin around the fist. So do the same here. Open that. Spin this around. And I guess if you want, you could do that. But, well, we're just going to open all of this up, like so. So now we've got this going on. This front section, we're going to spin around. Also spin around the beast head. So I can just nestle onto here. Try and get that closed up. And get that to tap in. There we go. There we go. So you want to have this closed up with the beast head inside. And since I forgot to move the chest down a little bit as well, but well, we're nearly done. So now we just want to try and get the back here of the shoulders, and that just tabs in. This little bit goes into the notch right there. There we go. So it's, and that's pretty much Alpha Trion in robot mode. And yeah, the transformation is pretty simple, you know. Standard beast mode transformation. And honestly, I don't think there's really any surprises in the transformation. Really, the biggest one is how the head comes out. Because, you know, it goes into a little crevice that closes up. But yeah, pretty standard transformation. And the resulting robot mode, yeah, it does look like Alpha Trion in the film, but honestly, I feel like this figure is kind of yeah, it looks nice, but well, I'll just show you. Yeah, it looks amazing. In fact, one thing I'm about to show is get these out so they can be heels, I'm guessing. But yeah, the figure itself looks really nice. I'm trying to remember what you do here with these heels. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, he looks like how he does in the film, so that's really good. But keep in mind, this is a Voyager figure. Now let's put him with a deluxe. For example, here's Starscream. And, oh, what's that? He's really what? A wee bit taller than Starscream. In fact, here's Sentinel. And okay, granted, I've got Sentinel in the battle mode, but folding up getting his feet transformed so he's in the standard position. Just keep in mind, this guy killed Alpha Trion in the film. If we're not counting the head, then I think he's a bit taller than Trion. And you know what? Why not? Here's Prime. Which, honestly, I feel like he should be taller than Prime. I mean, granted, he was still Orion Pax when he met Trion, so of course, right now I don't have the Orion Pax figure, but so maybe if they made this guy a little bit taller, but that's the least of my concerns, because, well, I'll mention it when I'll talk about that when we get to the articulation. Now, here's the accessory I hate so much, and it's just because of these bloody spikes. I just hate that you have to constantly take these off for the transformation. Granted, you can keep them on, but I just wish there was a better way. Have these molded on. Have these molded on already or something. I don't know. But at least when he's holding this weapon, He does look pretty cool. So there's that. Granted, it's yet another tail weapon, but still. So yeah. And one thing I thought to show is the head, which that is a really nice head sculpt. Like you can see one of the horns is slightly broken, which I think is pretty cool. It shows his age. Again, we can see the moss detailing, which again I love. Because I'm pretty sure the Prime Changer didn't have that. And because why not? Here he is with Age of the Prime's Trion. Because, you know, this is the G1 version. And, oh! Look at that! He's slightly taller! Do you miss when Voyager was an actual size and not just a price point? And because why not? Here's Legacy Alpha Trion. Well, here's the Legacy Alpha Trion as well. So, yeah. Therefore, I see the day where I've got 3 Alpha Trions on my collection, but here we are. Now, I wonder if they'll make a figure of A3. But honestly, I think out of these ones, I think I like the Age of the Primes one the best. Even if it does have that... Yeah, mine's got that fucked leg. But at least that's a QC issue compared to this one having articulation issues. What do I mean by that? Well, the head can't go side to side. It's got one of those weird ball joints where it's kind of at an angle. So like you can't look side to side. You can't look up and down, so it's kind of like hunched forward. Arms can go fully around, I'm fairly certain. Oh no, just untap everything. Yeah, like you just have to maneuver around the tab here, but the arms can go fully around. You can T-pose, bicep rotation, and in fact there's another rotation at the elbow, which I feel is kind of unnecessary, but I guess it's done so, you know, with the beast mode. But still, I feel it's kind of unnecessary. Wrists, not really anything. Waist rotation. He can kick forward, he can kick back. Knees about that far, which is He can do the splits, and normally this is where I would say something like he has an ankle pivot. Because, you know, the other Trions have an ankle pivot. As you can see, this guy has it. Legacy has it. Although this one is kind of fucking easily come off, but he still does have an ankle pivot. Although not as impressive as the Age of the Primes one. But this guy... Nope! We don't have an ankle pivot. What the fuck? Now, I get that, like, there's a few Studio Series figures that don't have ankle pivots, you know, like, the really early stuff. I'm trying to think. Like, I'm trying to remember if Stinger had one or not. Because, like, that was one of the earliest ones. You know, like, it was like Siege, where they made ankle pivots a standard. Before then, not really. But it's 2026 now. Ankle pivots should be a standard amongst figures, but here... Nope. So, why doesn't he have that? Is it, like, budget reasons or something? What, did the budget go into making the horns, like, removable or something? I don't know. And overall, the figure just feels kind of off to me. Like, these shins that really like timing in all too well. They definitely do in beast mode, but in robot mode, yeah, they feel kind of weird and iffy on me. Plus, the arms also feel kind of weird. How this entire back section feels weird. Like, it doesn't like tabbing in. Oh, I say that, it just tabbed in quite well there, but the arms themselves feel kind of weird. You know how they have that double joint. So we've got the main bicep joint, but then we got one just below the elbow. So yeah, overall, this figure is kind of weird. Like, there's some things that I really like. You know, he's accurate to the film. The beast mode is kind of funny, I'll give it that. But then, and also I love the moss detailing. But there's some things about this figure that I just really hate. The spikes, for example. Why did they come off? So yeah, let's move on to the complaints. And I've already talked about the spikes, so let's move on to some other stuff. So aside from this, my second biggest complaint is definitely the lack of the ankle pivot. Seriously, why does he not have an ankle pivot? It's just, come on. I get core class not having it, but this is a Voyager class. This is a Voyager class figure without ankle pivots. Like, ugh. I also think that the transformation can be kind of fiddly at times. Like, yeah, it's just kind of beast transformation, but sometimes the back can be a bit fiddly in where it goes. I also don't like how weird the claws are. So, yeah. And it just leads to a bizarre figure, in my opinion. Do I like it? Kind of. But I wouldn't say he's the best of all the Studio Series TF1 figures. Like, I feel someone like Arachnid definitely knocks us out the water. So, yeah, do I recommend it? Maybe for a reduced price, you know, if you get it on clearance, for example. Because, yeah, it's a Voyager figure, but I mean, it's more like a deluxe size, which, I mean, I guess scaling and all that, but I don't think this is worth, like, what, $42 or whatever Voyagers are these days. I'd say get it, but wait until it's on clearance. Because there are some fun things about this figure. Plus, he does look nice. It's just, there are some things weighing this thing down. I mean, one of them is he's kind of wobbly, but yeah, he's not entirely awful. He's just kind of iffy. So don't pay full price for him. So yeah, this has been my review on Studio Series Alpha Trion, and this is a Transformers fan signing off.